Hello there. Welcome to the Technovation podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Let's really unpack something we all feel every single day. Just think about your day so far. What emotions have you experienced? Maybe that little jolt of excitement waking up, or the frustration of being stuck in traffic.
Oh, definitely that one
A
sometimes.
sudden burst of joy seeing someone you care about. We navigate this incredible, complex landscape constantly, often without really analyzing it. Our emotions.
It's a fascinating area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our sources define emotions as these complex psychological states.
Okay.
They involve our thoughts, our feelings, and our physical reactions to events or experiences.
So not just fleeting things.
Not at all. They're described as strong feelings, like, love or anger, often triggered by a particular situation or maybe a memory. They're just fundamental to how we perceive and react to everything.
And building on that, our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack that huge, diverse world of human emotions.
Yep.
We're using a compelling source that helps categorize and define them. It's kind of like giving you a structured shortcut to understanding this really essential part of being human.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding emotions isn't just like an academic thing.
No.
It's foundational, how we think, feel, react, interact with the world, with each other. Knowing these patterns, these distinctions, it's a direct path to being, much more informed about ourselves and, other people too.
So emotions are undeniably complex, right? But the good news, I guess, is that our source offers a really helpful framework.
Yeah, it does.
It uses broad categorization to help us understand them, like having a map for our inner world, sort of.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is how it starts. It talks about basic emotions.
Okay, base.
These are seen as the most fundamental, almost universally recognized across different cultures. They're like the core building blocks of our emotional experience.
And happiness, that positive emotion, feelings of joy, contentment, pleasure, we all recognize that spark. But what's insightful here is how our source positions it. Not just as a fleeting peak, but maybe as a foundational state that can actually help build resilience.
That's a great point. It can buffer us against daily stressors.
Yeah.
Then there's sadness, that, universal experience of loss or grief or disappointment.
We all know that one.
And fear, an emotion triggered by a perceived threat, danger. It drives that innate fight or flight response.
Right.
What's often overlooked about fear, maybe, is its deep evolutionary roots. It's designed to keep us safe.
Even if the threat isn't a saber-toothed tiger anymore.
Exactly. It might just be an upcoming presentation or something.
Yeah. And who hasn't felt anger? That intense feeling, annoyance, frustration, maybe rage, often in response to feeling like something's unfair or you've been mistreated. It's so powerful.
It really is. And then there's surprise. Experience when something unexpected happens often comes with that immediate, involuntary startle.
That jump.
Yeah, that jump.
Yeah.
And finally, among these basic ones, we have disgust, an emotion triggered by something we find distasteful, offensive, repulsive. Think about that immediate recoil. It's a powerful signal.
So those 6, they're kind of the foundational emotional toolkit we're all born with.
That's a good way to put it, yes.
Now, if those basic emotions are like the primary colors on our emotional palette, our source then introduces secondary emotions. And this is where things get, really nuanced, isn't it?
Definitely.
Exploring feelings that aren't just single reactions, but often complex blends or maybe deeper cognitive layers.
Precisely. For instance, guilt. That feeling of responsibility or remorse for something you think you did wrong.
Right.
Or shame. A painful emotion caused by a consciousness of guilt, maybe a shortcoming, or impropriety.
What's the difference there, really?
Well, the source highlights that while both involve wrongdoing, guilt is more about what you did, while shame is often felt as being about who you are. It's a subtle but important distinction.
Okay. That makes sense. And then there's pride. A feeling of deep satisfaction, pleasure coming from your own achievements or maybe someone else's.
Yes, and embarrassment. That feeling of self-consciousness, discomfort because of some kind of perceived social blunder or awkward situation.
We've all been there.
Haven't we just? And of course, envy. That unpleasant emotion caused by wanting something that another person has. It's pretty clear how these secondary feelings often layer on top of or combine the basic one.
Yeah.
They show our capacity for more sophisticated internal responses.
Yeah, definitely more complex. And speaking of how emotions connect us, our source then shifts quite nicely, I think, to social emotions.
Right.
Those feelings almost exclusively tied to our relationships and how we interact with other people.
Absolutely. This includes love, that profound, enduring emotion of affection, attachment, care for another person.
A big one.
A very big one. And gratitude, a feeling of appreciation, thankfulness for benefits or favors received. It's more than just saying thank you.
It's deeper.
It's a deep recognition, yeah.
And two that often get confused but are distinct. Empathy. The ability to understand and actually share the feelings of another person.
Stepping into their shoes.
Exactly. It's about stepping into their shoes.
While sympathy is feeling concern or sorrow for someone else's suffering or misfortune, that's more like compassion from maybe a slight distance.
Okay, so the distinction is crucial there.
It really is. Because one, empathy connects you to the experience itself, while sympathy connects you more to the person's situation.
Right, like if a friend loses a pet.
Empathy might mean you actually feel a bit of their sadness yourself. Sympathy means you feel bad for them, in their situation.
Got it. Now, a really fascinating category, moral emotions.
Yes.
Our source explains these are related to our sense of right and wrong, and they're often tied up with social norms, values.
Exactly. And what's compelling is that some emotions we just talked about actually pop up again here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but with a different, sort of deeper lens.
Like which ones?
Well, shame reappears. But here, it involves a profound sense of disgrace or dishonor.
Yeah.
Usually due to a perceived failure or wrongdoing that impacts our social standing, our place in the group.
The social aspect is key there.
Very key. And guilt comes back too. But now it's framed as feeling responsible or remorseful for a real or imagined offense within a moral framework.
Right.
It often leads to wanting to make amends, restitution.
Okay, so it's about the moral code being broken.
That precisely. And pride also returns. But now it's specifically a feeling of satisfaction or accomplishment that comes from one's achievements, or maybe the achievements of people we identify with, especially when those achievements line up with moral or societal values. It's that feeling of doing something right and maybe being recognized for it.
That makes sense. It fits the moral label.
Definitely. Finally, we arrive at complex emotions.
Yeah.
These involve a really rich mixture of basic emotions and cognitive processes. They're often heavily influenced by our personal experiences, our cultural background. This is where the tapestry, as you said, truly gets intricate.
Like jealousy, an emotion involving feelings of insecurity, fear of abandonment, resentment, all triggered by a perceived threat to a valued relationship.
Yeah, it's not just one simple feeling, is it?
No, it's a whole cocktail of intense reactions.
Exactly. Or nostalgia. That sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, usually for happy times, people, places.
That bittersweet feeling.
That's it. Missing something cherished, but also finding comfort in the memory itself.
And one that fuels us forward, often when things seem uncertain. Hope.
Yes.
An optimistic state of mind based on expecting positive outcomes or success. It's that belief in a better future, even against the odds sometimes.
A really powerful one. It's vital to remember, though, that emotions aren't always clearly distinct boxes.
Right, it's not that neat.
No. As our source points out, they can often overlap or we experience them in combination. That creates truly unique personal states.
And the intensity varies hugely, right? And how long they last.
Absolutely. And, individuals experience and express them differently, too, based on their own unique makeup, their past experiences, their culture. It's all part of the mix.
So what does this all mean for us, for you listening? The big takeaway from our source, which I think beautifully brings all this together, is that understanding and effectively navigating this rich emotional landscape is a really important aspect of emotional intelligence.
And ultimately, our overall well-being, it ties directly into that.
Yeah.
You've heard us talk about the rich tapestry of human emotion, and hopefully walking through these categories, well, you can now truly appreciate how nuanced and interconnected our inner landscape is.
It's far more structured than it often feels in the moment, isn't it?
It really is.
So the real aha moment here maybe isn't just that emotions are personal, but that even in their vastness, our source reveals these identifiable patterns and categories. It's about taking what often feels like internal chaos and giving you a structured lens, a way to understand not just ourselves, but to maybe interpret others' reactions more clearly too.
Absolutely. This knowledge is like a direct path to more informed self-awareness and better social interaction. It gives you a clearer lens to interpret your own feelings and the reactions of people around you.
Which lets you respond more skillfully, maybe.
Exactly. More skillfully, perhaps more compassionately sometimes too.
So, knowing these specific types and layers of emotion, here's something to think about. How might recognizing them actually change how you respond to your own feelings or maybe to the emotions you perceive in other people? And how could that contribute to your own overall well-being?
It's a great question. Something worth pondering long after this deep dive concludes.